Nick. It's Angelica Castello with KSN. How are you?
Hey, Angelica. I'm doing great. How are you today?
I'm well. I'm just going to ask you a few questions today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to be with you.
So the first question I think everybody is, dying to know is, when will you be returning to Kansas?
Oh, I hope to be there soon. One of the fortunate aspects of a post-flight is that I get to go around and share the story. And so I had a unique opportunity to share that with lots of school children around the state, through several events, one of which was hosted by the Cosmosphere. And I hope to follow that up with in-person visits to hometowns and to different locations throughout the state to try to share the magic of spaceflight with all those young, very vibrant minds.
That's awesome. Speaking of kids, I did actually have a question regarding your son. So what is it like for them knowing that their dad's an astronaut?
I think that for my sons, dad is really just dad. I may have a little bit of a unique job, but when it boils down to it, they want the same things that any child wants. They want a parent that's there for them, that loves them, that supports them, that can be there and play with them, that can help them do things, and they want the same things. So the fact that I've been gone has been difficult on them for sure. So I got to say, there's no place like home, and being back with my family it definitely feels great.
So speaking of that, I actually saw on your Twitter page that you posted a picture of you hugging your wife from last year's Welcome Home to this year's Welcome Home. Can you kind of explain to me what emotions you felt in that moment when you made it home this year?
No, it has been a long year. Just a few days from now is the anniversary of that failed attempt to launch, and there's been lots of ups and downs, and there's been lots of adversity. But I've got to tell you that the overwhelming sense that I come away from it all is that it's worth it. It's worth it in terms of what we're able to accomplish and the mission that's going on in the station, the boundaries in science that we're pushing, and the more we're understanding about ourselves and the world around us. It's worth it, and you get a very palpable sense of that being part of it right there on the leading edge, the very front edge of that. It's in terms of, I know I've asked my family to go through so much. They watched a year ago as I was riding a rocket that disintegrated underneath me, and then turned around 5 months later, and they watched me get on top of another rocket. And so what I've asked of them, what the program has asked of them, is beyond what you would normally encounter, and they have risen to the challenge. And I think that the reason is because they know that it's worth it, that what we're accomplishing together as a program, as a country, as a world, all the countries that are coming together and working on this program, what we're accomplishing every day in space is for the benefit of everyone, and it's definitely worth it.
So kind of going back to that last year, what happened, that failed launch, at any point did you second guess whether you wanted to do this again?
No, I don't think so. Those second chances, if you will, those opportunities, there's one thing that I've learned is that what really defines you is how you face adversity. And so, that was an obstacle for sure. And looking at that, it helps you, it gives you a moment so that you can take stock in what am I trying to accomplish, and why am I trying to do it. And there was definitely a period of time following the abort where, as a family, I sit with my wife and discuss, and our boys and discuss, why is it that we're doing what we're doing, and it really ended up becoming an exercise in recommitting, ourselves to what we're trying to accomplish. And the human exploration of space is is inspirational for humanity, and it provides so much of a benefit to everyone. And we were committed following the abort, and leading into that second launch. I think we were even more committed to seeing it through.
And actually, I wanted to ask about that. Over the last 6 months, what would you say the biggest takeaway was from your experience, or what was the biggest thing that you learned over the last 6 months?
Well, I think the first thing is that it's been such a privilege to be part of such a team. A team that's not just here at NASA in Houston, but is at NASA centers across the nation. Not just in NASA centers, but at partner nation control centers across the globe. And being part of that team, you really come away with this sense of how we can all work together. And when we do work together, we find strength through the diversity that everyone brings to the table. And it's through that strength that we're able to accomplish these amazing feats. Working in a space station that's been, almost continually occupied for 2 decades, and continuing to push those boundaries day in and day out, and making the extraordinary seem routine. That's something that we do because we come together and we work together. And so, those are lessons that I learned. The strength of teamwork, I learned that through my Air Force career, but being able to witness it firsthand on the high frontier is something that that it really underscored that lesson to me.
And actually, talking about that, I know that you were awarded the Order of Courage by Vladimir Putin. Can you talk a little bit about that, what that was like?
Yes, so I just found out about that today. And I have to say that it's an honor to receive the Order of Courage. I mentioned this before, is that courage is really defined by how you confront the adversity that's thrown in front of you. And I got to experience firsthand, witness firsthand, my commander, Alexei Ovchinin, in his response to all of this. I got to experience and witness firsthand all the operators and trainers and search and rescue forces that on that day sprung into action and did what was required of them, and witness their courage in all of this. And so, it's for them that I'm extremely proud to wear this award.
So I know that you've already kind of touched on this a little bit, but since 1961, there have only been 358 Americans that have gone into space. What does it feel like to be one of them? Sometimes I wake up and I wonder, was it all a dream? It is such a magical experience to be able to float for 6 months and not have my feet need to touch the ground and essentially fly. It opens up and challenges your mind in so many different ways and opens you up to new perspectives. And so I feel very fortunate to be a part of such a small number of people that have had that experience. And I only hope that as we go forward, as we go back to the moon and we go beyond to Mars as part of the Artemis program, that we can expand that to a much larger number of people so that they can witness this firsthand and come away with the profound realization that I have that we live on a very special planet and that we need to do everything we can to take care of it. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Nick. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to do this with us, and it was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. I enjoyed speaking with you as well.
you.